Good evening. I'm Kim Patterson, and I'm principal of Martin Luther King Jr. School. And we have a wonderful student and parent community at Martin Luther King Jr. School, including many families who choose King because of an historic the school. We are especially proud of our implementation of our school improvement grant. And this upcoming school year will be the third year of that $2 million grant. There are 3 strategies in our grant that I would really like to remind the board of, because those grants are meant to seed the district with some ideas that might transform practice across the district. So the first piece that we're extremely proud of is our extended school year. So feel free to stop by in July. All teachers at King School and all students will be deeply entrenched in learning in the month of July, and we call that month an extra scoop, and we really encourage you to think about a balanced calendar for Portland Public Schools. We believe that the learning loss that happens in the summer is needless, and we would encourage you to make that a priority. The second piece that we're very proud of is King School over the last 3 years has become a PYP authorized school and a middle years program, International Baccalaureate authorized school as well. And we invested in that strategy to provide level 2 and 3 training for our teachers. And at King School, we like to think that teachers are creators. And the SIG grant has given us additional time for planning and planning constructivist and inquiry-based curriculum for our students. And it's a reminder that at schools where there is a high number of students of color and students of poverty, that they are usually the least likely to receive that kind of constructivist curriculum. And so we're really pleased with those efforts, and we believe that our academic gains are part of that effort. The third piece has been that from the very beginning, the arts were part of our achievement strategies, and last spring we were selected as one of the 8 turnaround art schools in the nation. And usually people want to ask us about Sarah Jessica Parker or things like that, but really we like to remind everyone that we had really simple strategies, like having African dance and Ghanese culture for all of our students, and we really see the joy and the pleasure that the arts give our students. And so one of the other reminders is that nationally and in the Portland metro area, it's students of color and low-income students that sometimes have the least of the specials and enrichments in their schools, and we really are committed to that. And so in this last year, we hope you stop by and check it out, and we really, our academic gains have been noticeable, so thank you.
Go on a very positive note, which is when I looked at the milestone data, in particular for King, I'm looking as the one that really stood out in terms of the jumps in achievement. And when you're looking at the 3rd grade milestones for black children, 42% to 91%, for Hispanic children, 11% to 86%, 100% of white students, all students, 33% to 91%, amazing. Kim, you talked about 3 different things that you're really proud of in the school, and I'm kind of trying to understand if there's one in particular. And I don't know if there could be. So let me just remind people it was the extended school year, and it was the IB, and it was the arts turnaround program, and the fact that you had the SIG grant. But I don't know if there's like any one thing that kind of...
And I think that's the problem is often...
Before you answer, can we get you a microphone? I think there's a... I want everybody to be able to hear what you're replying.
You know, often we're asked to isolate down to the one thing, and there have been a lot of end of the year surveys for Chess for Success, and what I would say is I really believe that it was all of those consistent efforts, but I feel very strongly about the way that the extended summertime has really decreased that gap, and I think the teachers would probably rank that very high because what we know is that particular students fall further behind every summer. And so I think that we would offer that up, but it really is hard to extract what it was. And just the joy from the arts one of the things that we've talked a lot about across the cluster, and right now in some of our data meetings, is just the curriculum. Sometimes that's the choice when students are struggling. That has been the choice over the past 10 years. And so I can't say enough. Tina and I think the IB curriculum, and I think it's similar to what Molly says about STEM, but the curriculum where teachers are planning that, and there's creativity, and it's a constructivist approach. So I really can't take out one. I know one thing I didn't mention, though, that I'm excited about is that we are partnering with Portland State University's Masters in Fine Arts program in a small amount of the King facility in some of our building, and really trying to make sure that we're good stewards of this grant money that we had, and so that we have extended partnerships and arts partnerships.
Can I just follow up on that? Because I'm interested in your comments about the extended school year. And with the grant funds, you were able to add that instruction. So it's not a balanced calendar in the sense that you're spreading the same number of days out over a different schedule, but actually you're adding how much time in the summer?
So we're adding 3 weeks, 12 days. We have Fridays off. And so, another tribute to Tony Hunter is, I think a decade ago, she sent me to Bardstown, Kentucky to look at a balanced calendar. And so in a time of scarce resources, a balanced calendar allows you to decrease that summer gap. And so in reality, you would spread those vacations and breaks across the year, and students would never have a break longer than 4, 5, or 6 weeks. That's about when you see that decrease in learning. In times where you can invest again, districts like Bardstown, Nashville, during those breaks, there's often intersessions for middle schoolers and high school students where maybe there's a 3-week break and a student that's struggling in algebra can have a week intersession credit retrieval. Maybe they have a D in algebra and they move it to a passing grade. And so if we're moving from a time of economic scarcity to a time where we can gain back, that a balanced calendar can provide all kinds of opportunity. I know I hear other schools in Portland say that they would be interested in such a thing, but it really has to be a metro effort. And I've said many times we're fortunate to have a superintendent that has that kind of metro lens. I mean, it would be an amazing thing.
I appreciate those comments because I think that as we all hope that the economy improves and that there is more money for schools, and that's something to be really thoughtful about. How do you invest the additional funds? Maybe you don't necessarily reduce your class size, maybe you extend your year so that you have kids in school longer, because that's where you're going to close the gap. So I think that's something that the district should really be thinking about going forward.